Good afternoon, and thank you for your time. My name is Chloe West. I have a master's degree in neuroscience, and I'm currently in the 5th year in the process of obtaining a PhD in neuroscience. It is my full-time job to research and understand how entheogens affect the nervous system and behavior. These entheogens, such as psilocybin mushrooms, are natural substances that, when ingested, produce temporary altered states of consciousness. Today, you have heard the incredible stories of people whose lives and mental health have been transformed by using entheogens as traditional alternative medicines. I am here today to provide you with the scientific evidence that supports their stories. I will provide you with a brief summary of the scientific community's current understanding of the effects of entheogens on mental illness, as well as their safety and risks. In what follows, I will be discussing peer-reviewed scientific research publications, all of which have been cited in your handout. Recent findings have shown entheogens to be extremely effective in the treatment of anxiety, PTSD, OCD, anorexia, addiction, and depression, even in cases where depressed patients have not responded to pharmaceutically prescribed treatments. All of these entheogens, with the exception of ibogaine, work on the brain in the same biological way. So while this bill lists out many natural substances, from a biological perspective, psychological, and physiological perspective, the brain cannot tell a difference between these substances. Regarding depression, research at Imperial College London showed that psilocybin mushrooms and entheogen are as effective, if not more effective, at treating depression than escitalopram, an SSRI that is one of the leading pharmaceutical treatments for depression on the market today. This study found that just 2 doses of psilocybin mushrooms were significantly better at alleviating symptoms of depression than 42 doses of escitalopram over the course of 6 weeks. In a longer-term study, researchers at New York University found that these results are sustained over 4 years later. The sustainable antidepressant effects of entheogens has been corroborated by countless other peer-reviewed scientific publications from Johns Hopkins University, Washington University School of Medicine, and more. And research has shown entheogens to be effective at treating various types of anxiety as well. For example, a study conducted at New York University, Johns Hopkins University, and UCLA, to just name a few, these studies all showed entheogens to significantly reduce end-of-life anxiety in patients with terminal cancer diagnoses. Similar positive results have been observed for the treatment of PTSD, OCD, and anorexia. With this being a relatively new field of research, it's incredible how rich the scientific literature is with evidence that these natural substances are effective treatments for these various diseases of the mind. It's important to point out that when I'm talking about these incredible findings, I'm not just referring to clinical settings. Researchers at University of Wisconsin-Madison and Texas Tech University Medical School found that these entheogens are effective at treating mental illness when used recreationally. So what are the risks? Do these substances damage the brain in any way? No, there is no scientific evidence to support this myth. In fact, research from Yale University and University of California has shown that entheogens actually increase and strengthen the connections between neurons, the cells of the brain, while depression seems to decrease these connections. Furthermore, psilocybin mushrooms have been shown to be anti-inflammatory, meaning they reduce inflammation in the brain. What about addiction? Entheogens are absolutely not addictive. These substances do not cause feelings of euphoria, reward, or withdrawal. In fact, these substances have been implemented in the treatment of nicotine addiction, alcohol abuse disorder, and even opioid addiction. These are beneficial, non-addictive, and safe-to-use substances. I've cited in your handout a publication from Johns Hopkins University that discusses the safety and risks, from abuse potential to toxicity to tolerance and dependence, to show that these are safe and non-addictive substances. For example, the lethal dose of psilocybin mushrooms is so extremely low, approximately 1,000 times of what someone would normally consume. This would be so unlikely that someone could even possibly consume this many mushrooms. This is not the case for many of the pharmaceutical drugs available on the market today. It is of my opinion as a neuroscientist that researches entheogens that they are safe and extremely healing substances, and the people of the city should not be criminalized for using them. We are asking for you to allow us a working session so that we can more sufficiently discuss the data and scientific findings and answer any questions you might have before making a decision on this topic. Every single one of us in this room and in this city has either personally been affected by mental illness or knows someone that has. You have the power to allow this community equitable access to safe, natural, scientifically backed, transformative substances, and to place Atlanta at the forefront of a mental health revolution alongside Denver, Colorado, San Francisco, California, Washington, D.C., and others. Thank you so much for your time.